Blah.
And sanitizer.
Yeah.
This is Megan.
And Sue in the restricted section.
And we are going to do a Read Harder update since it's about the middle of the year. And so we're just going to kind of check in and see how we're doing on our Read Harder challenges.
Yeah, the Book Riot Read Harder Challenge. We'll put a link to it below if you haven't heard of it.
Yup, check it out. And if you want to jump in
mid-year,
do
for it.
Give it a go.
But they have a list of, 24 challenges?
24 challenges.
Yearly. We did it last year. We both completed it.
We completed it last year, yeah.
We both completed it. So yeah, we're just checking in. And we're going to drink this Local Buzz Honey Rye Golden Ale from Four Corners.
Yes. A little bee on the back.
Yep. And this is another Texas beer that
our friend Megan
brought up from Texas for us.
From Tejas.
And it's got one of these weird pop tops.
I'm a little nervous about this pop top.
And we researched this to figure out why they're bringing these pop tops back. And I guess it's supposed to be better for when you drink because you can smell it as you drink, so you get that aroma.
Which sometimes we've learned is not good.
Not when you're drinking a guava beer, for sure.
Don't smell the guava.
This one smells nice, like honey.
It does. This one has more honey flavor than the other one did.
It's quite good.
It's very good.
I like it a lot.
Oh, yes.
So this is, brewery in Dallas, which is where our friend Megan lives.
Unfortunately, because
she moved away from us.
We had such a good time with her when she was here.
We did. So we're just gonna go. Should we go through all the challenges or just the ones we've done?
Let's go through all of them, and if there's something we're kind of thinking we might read for that, we can do like a TBR
so
plus a check-in.
Yeah. So this is kind of a TBR plus check-in.
Yeah.
So the first challenge is to read a book about sports.
Yes, which neither of us are really big like sports readers, so this is a difficult one I think for both of us.
Yeah.
I have a book about the Detroit Red Wings. It's like 100 things that Red Wings fans should do and see before they die, and so I'll probably read that.
And I plan to read Seabiscuit, an American Legend by Laura Hillenbrand, which is of course about the racehorse. Seabiscuit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I haven't done that yet, so we have not completed that challenge yet.
No. The next challenge is to read a debut novel.
And I read Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk, which was his debut novel. I don't think it's the first novel he wrote or the first novel he tried to get published, but it is the first novel that he actually got published. So yeah, and I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. It was pretty good, but it wasn't amazing. Like I didn't think that it lived up to the hype so much, but I did enjoy it.
I read The Keeper of Lost Things by Ruth Hogan.
It's a pretty book.
I borrowed this from my friend Jamie. She recommended it, and I think she rated it like 4 or 5 stars. She really liked it. I also really enjoyed this book, and it's interesting. It had some diverse characters in it. There was a gay man in it. There was a girl with Down syndrome in it, and I felt like it did a good job of portraying them without being ableist or,
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it. It was a really good story, and it came together really well in the end. I liked it.
Alright, the next challenge is to read a book about books.
I don't really have a tentative TBR for this one yet. I kind of want to read The Labyrinth of Souls by Carlos Ruiz Zafón, which is the 4th book in that series. But I don't know when it's going to be out in English.
Yeah.
So.
And I haven't read anything for this yet, but I do plan to read The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón.
So good. The next one is read a book set in Central or South America, written by a Central or South American author.
So I haven't completed this one yet either, but I plan to read Love in the Time of Cholera or 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez.
I actually don't have anything written down for this one. Yeah, everyone that I had thought about reading was like one or. It was either or, but not both. So yeah, I don't think I have anything set for this one yet. So we'll see. If you have any suggestions, let me know.
The next challenge is to read a book by an immigrant or with a central immigration narrative.
I think we both have the same thing for this one, actually.
Yeah, and we both read Exit West by Mohsin Hamid.
Yeah.
This is, I'm not sure, I think he's an immigrant, if I'm not mistaken, but it definitely has a central immigration narrative.
Definitely.
So...
But yeah, I really enjoyed that book.
I think you liked this book more than I did.
I think so.
I liked it. I think I still gave it 4 stars, but maybe it should be more like 3.5 for me because, I don't know, I just didn't quite connect with it.
I think it was a solid 4 for me. Like, I found it really beautiful, but also, like, really deeply sad. Even though they both ended up in, like, good places.
Yeah,
but, like,
I thought that it was nice.
Read an all-ages comic.
And I just finished this today, actually. And I read El Defo. Is it El Defo or El Defo? I mean, she's deaf, so I feel like it's Defo, but I'm not sure. By SueCee Bell. And this is a children's comic. I like the illustrations. I think they're cute. I believe she illustrated it herself. But it said color was by someone else. Color by David Lasky. But yeah, this was really cute, and I thought it was a good look into like what it would be like for a child who's deaf, and she can hear with the help of an aid, like a hearing aid, but she has to wear this like huge hearing aid at school, and then the teacher has to have the microphone so that she can hear what the teacher's saying, so she feels really like, you know, she looks different, and all the other kids are gonna think she's weird, and so it was really cute, and it was a good look into that, and her kind of struggling to make friends and to maybe not care so much what other people think of her, and yeah, I liked it. I thought it was pretty good.
That sounds really cute.
I think I gave it 4 stars. This copy looks real gross.
Yeah.
It's from the library, and you know, it's a kid's book, so kids are gross.
Little hands.
But it looks like it's been like dropped on the pavement or something.
Let's see, did we talk about maybe Lumberjanes? Is that an all-ages comic?
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that one because I think it's YA.
Okay.
So I was like, does that count as all ages?
I don't know.
I feel like all ages should be like a children's.
For
you know
everyone.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wasn't quite sure on whether Lumberjanes would count or not because I was going to read Nimona, which is also YA.
Okay.
So I was like, I'll just go with this one, and they had it at the library, and I thought it sounded good anyway, so I went with the children's one.
Nice. I might just go to the library and see what they have. Just
Yeah.
gonna look around. But yeah, I was thinking about reading Lumberjanes for that one, but
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
Next is read a book published between 1900 and 1950.
For this, I have Darkness at Noon by Arthur Ketzler. This was originally published in 1940. I think the copy that I have was like released in the 90s, but it was originally published in 1940. It's set in Russia during like Stalin's purges, and so it's about a man who's imprisoned for crimes that he committed, or supposedly committed while working for the party. But I thought it was good. It was highly philosophical, I felt.
And I haven't completed that challenge yet. I apparently just don't gravitate toward books that were published then or something. It's because but I will probably read The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, which I'm the last person on the planet to ever read that, apparently. But I'll probably do that, but I do have a lot. I don't know if The Wizard of Oz would count or not, because I did read that this year, but it was published in 1900, and it says between 1900 and 1950. So it probably would count, but I was like, I plan on reading The Great Gatsby anyway, so I'll probably just count that one.
Next is read a travel memoir.
And I read Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil by John Berendt earlier this year, and I count that as a travel memoir. He went to Savannah, Georgia, and it's about the people he met there. It's kind of marketed, I feel like, as like a true crime novel. And
okay.
That is a part of it. But I feel like it's more travel memoir, in my opinion. And I found it in the travel section of the library. So,
yeah, so there you
I feel like that counts.
That confirms it. I have not completed this challenge yet, but I plan to read Stephen Fry in America by Stephen Fry because I love him. And so I felt like that would be interesting.
Next is read a book you've read before.
I have also not completed this challenge yet, but I plan to reread The Handmaid's Tale.
I have not completed it yet either, but I am going to reread The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien at the end of this month, so I should finish it soon.
Read a book that is set within 100 miles of your location.
I haven't completed this one yet either. I'm probably going to read The Shepherd of the Hills by Harold Bell Wright, which is kind of a classic of this area.
Of the Ozarks.
Of the Ozarks, yes. And it's set in the Branson area, which is within 100 miles of Springfield. But it was really hard to find a book that fit this challenge because nobody writes about the Ozarks.
That's fair.
Except for Daniel Woodrell, but most of his books are set in fictional towns.
Right.
So how could I know if it's within 100 miles of my location?
I guess you could probably just say it was and no one would ever know.
Yes.
I'm going to read Winter's Bone by Daniel Woodrell.
Which is set. Actually, I don't think they ever say where it is in the book. But they do mention, I think they mention Christian County, which is...
That is within
100 miles.
Yeah. I am reading Chasing the Scream right now, which is a nonfiction book about the war on drugs, and they specifically mention Springfield, Missouri in that book.
Really? That's not surprising. Next is to read a book that is set more than 5,000 miles from your location.
And I read In Order to Live by Yeonmi Park, because that was set in North Korea and China, largely, for the most part, because it was her story about how she escaped North Korea.
And I haven't finished that challenge yet, I don't think. I need to look through my books. I don't think I have. But I'm probably going to read The Lost Queen of Egypt by Lucille Morrison, because Egypt is pretty far away.
It's a bit far.
I think I looked it up, and it was like 6,000 miles or so.
So that would work. That'd be perfect. Next is read a fantasy novel.
And I read A Wizard of Earthsea by Ursula K. Le Guin earlier in the year. And it was pretty mediocre.
It was kind of meh.
Didn't really like it that much. It's about this wizard named Ged. And it starts when he's a boy and he becomes apparent that he has the potential to be like a very powerful wizard. But then he's kind of a little asshole about it.
It's kind of a twat.
As children tend to be sometimes, and kind of fucks things up. But then he spends the rest of the book trying to fix it. And I just found him as a character kind of meh. So that was, I think, my biggest problem with it was that I just didn't give a fuck about him.
No fucks were given.
So that was like not great. The second book in that series was better.
I said Enter Wild Time by Paul Majors, which was also very meh. It's kind of I would say like a sci-fi fantasy mashup, because there's like time travel involved. A lot of it takes place like on an omnibus going through space. But yeah, I would say it's got elements of fantasy in it. So
the next challenge is read a nonfiction book about technology.
This was a hard one for me. I don't have like a tentative to read for this one. I was going to do some like Googling and see what I could find, but again, I'm open to suggestion.
And I haven't completed this challenge yet either, but I actually just purchased The Brain Electric, The Dramatic High-Tech Race to Merge Minds and Machines, I think is what what it's called. I printed the stuff and it cut off part of that title. But it's about robots and shit, I think.
Oh, that's gonna freak you out.
Probably. But I bought it from Audible, so I'm going to listen to it on audiobook.
Nice.
Which I hope that wasn't a mistake.
Maybe it will be very boring.
Well, the audiobook had good reviews. Like, people said it was a good audiobook.
Okay.
So
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Read a book about war.
Strangely, I haven't finished this yet. You'd think that's a pretty common theme in books, but I haven't read any books about war this year. But I have several on my shelves that could fit this. I have many, many books about war. The one that's kind of the top of the list for me is A Town Like Alice by Neville Shute. So that's kind of the one I'm planning on, but we'll see. I have, like I said, I have many, many books on my shelves
books about war.
That are about war. So we'll see.
I have Blackout by Connie Willis. This is set in World War II, and it's actually about these time-traveling historians who go back in time on these assignments. And they get stuck in World War II. So I really liked it enough to read the sequel. So, which I'm going to do probably soon.
All right, next is read a YA or middle grade novel by an author who identifies as LGBTQ+.
And we read the same one for this one as well.
Yeah, we both read If I Was Your Girl by Meredith Russo.
Which I liked. I felt like it was a little too, like, clean and tidy.
Yeah, and I kind of like, I liked it too, and it's by and about a transgender, well, it's by a transgender woman and about a transgender teenage girl. I was kind of thinking about this, and like, I originally kind of criticized it for being too cliche, because it was very much like a cliche 90s rom-com, I felt like. It was, yeah. Like a teen rom-com. Teen rom-com, kind of like She's All That or something. But I kind of thought about it more and I was like, I feel like maybe those kinds of stories need to be told with, you know, transgender or gay or whatever characters to show that, like, this can be your story
normal.
too.
Right. That's normal.
You know? So I would kind of retract that criticism of it, I think. So it is a little bit of a cliche storyline, I think. But I thought it was good.
I actually really liked it, and I'm really picky about YA, but I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And
I think I gave it 4 stars.
Read a book that has been banned or frequently challenged in your country.
I haven't completed this one yet, but I'm currently reading The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini, and that has been frequently challenged in the United States.
The U.S. of
So I'm gonna count that one once I finish it.
I read Never Let Me Go by Katsuo Ishiguro. I can't ever say his name right, but I'm trying really hard to get there because that has been challenged in our country as well. Particularly, in Texas, it said?
Yeah, it said Texas. The next challenge was to read a classic by an author of color.
I have not completed this yet. I plan to read Native Son or Black Boy by Richard Wright. One of the two.
And I read The Three Musketeers by Alexander Dumas, which I just learned this year that Alexander Dumas was a person of color. Yes. I had no idea.
I didn't know either.
Yeah, his mother, I believe, was from what is now Haiti. And I'm not sure about his father, but yeah, I had no idea, but I really liked this. I like his books a lot. I mean, I've only read 2 of them so far, but I want to read more by him because The Count of Monte Cristo is one of my favorite books ever.
Yes.
And I didn't like this one as much as The Count of Monte Cristo, but I still really enjoyed it. So, Three Musketeers.
Read a superhero comic with a female lead.
And I read Ms. Marvel Volume 1, Normal, I said it like Australian. No. I can't do it now. Sorry, Australian people. But I read that just recently, and it was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
And that's what I plan to read. I have not completed the challenge yet, but I plan to read Miss Marvel.
And next is read a book in which a character of color goes on a spiritual journey.
And I don't know if this will technically count, but I was thinking of counting Beloved by Toni Morrison for this, because I felt like it was kind of a spiritual journey. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but like I feel like it was kind of a making peace with past decisions story, and it was kind of spiritual, and
I could definitely see that. I feel like it would count.
So it may be a stretch, but I'm gonna try to count it.
And I haven't completed that yet, but I was going to read Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse.
Yeah. The next one is read an LGBTQ+ romance novel.
And I haven't completed that one yet either, but I was planning to read Carry On by Rainbow Rowell, which I think that would count. I don't know if romance is the central theme of the novel, but I know that there's some romance there. So if you've read it, maybe let me know if you think that it counts as a romance novel.
Yeah. I need some help on this one because I don't read romance novels. So if anyone has any good LGBTQ+ romance novels you think I should read, please let me know.
Alright, next is to read a book published by a micropress.
I may end up borrowing your micropress book, actually.
Yeah, I read Animal Tales This is published by Pencil Box Press, which is a local micro press. And I enjoyed it. It was pretty good. I think I gave it like 3.5 stars.
And it's just stories about animals?
Yeah, they all involve animals. There's kind of like essays more, or like they're really short pieces about animals, and then also some poems. I thought it was pretty good, and I like the cover a lot.
Yeah, I like the cover too.
And there's art like throughout the book as well, like little art pieces of like
drawings. So next is read a collection of stories by a woman.
And I read Difficult Women by Roxane Gay, and yeah, it was really good. I quite enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4 stars.
I think I did too, yeah. And I read Bloodchild and Other Stories by Octavia Butler, because I love Octavia Butler. She's amazing, and this collection was really, really good. I gave it 4 stars. It would have been 5 stars, but there were a couple of stories that I didn't really, like, they were okay, but I didn't, like, love them.
Next is read a collection of poetry in translation on a theme other than love.
I have not completed this challenge yet.
And I have. I read I'm the Beggar of the World, Land Days from Contemporary Afghanistan, and this is translated by Eliza Griswold. And Land Days are short, like 2-line poems. They sing them, so it's kind of like a traditional song thing in Afghanistan, and it's more among the women than the men. And this was interesting. I did like how the author put in, or this translator / partial co-editor, partial author, I don't know, she collected the poems, yeah. But she put in like little paragraphs where she would explain maybe what the poems meant, or explain a little bit more about, you know, their way of life and etc. So it was pretty good. I gave it 4 stars.
Read a book wherein all point of view characters are people of color.
And I was going to count Beloved for this one. I'm pretty sure all point of view characters were people of color, if I recall correctly.
I believe so.
So yeah.
And I plan to read Homegoing by Ya Jessie for this one, which I borrowed from you. So,
yep.
Yes.
Alright, so that's all the challenges. I'm right at halfway. I completed 12 challenges, so I'm doing pretty good.
I completed 10, so I'm close-ish.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to like be a little bit more consciously read stuff now, because a lot of these I just read anyway and they happen to fit. But yeah, I'm gonna have to actually consciously think about it and read the books that I need to complete these challenges.
Same.
But by the end of this month I should have at least 2 more done.
Very nice.
Because I'm reading The Hobbit and The Kite Runner, so that's good.
Yeah, and I want to read The Handmaid's Tale soon, so I'll have that one. So,
all right. So if you guys are doing the Read Harder challenge, let us know how it's going for you.
Yes.
This beer is really good.
I really like it. Yeah, it's good.
It definitely tastes like honey. But not overpoweringly so.
No, but it's a good flavor.
Yeah, I like it a lot. So yeah, it was great. Thanks, Megan.
Thanks, Megan.
There'll be links below where you can find us other places on the internet.
If you're not already subscribed to the restricted section, you should do it.
And thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.